Hey guys, so the video you are about to watch has been one that I have been so excited to make. It's been the talk of the channel and the guys for a while. It is finally officially the Spider-Man No Way Home talk. Guys, before you watch this, I do want to recommend, again, this video is going to contain a lot of spoilers for those who have not seen it yet. So really, I recommend, if I do not want to spoil this movie for you if you've not seen it, so click off right now if you guys don't want to get anything spoiled. But I just really don't want you guys to miss out on this incredible movie that really has skyrocketed in the box office and has been very good to Marvel fans, but more importantly, us Spider-Man fans who have grown up with every single version of Spider-Man, and to see all the villains collide in this one is just, it's been a blast, guys. So guys, again, I really recommend, if you don't want this spoiled, I will be okay if you click off right now. But for those who are going to be sticking around for this video, I really hope you enjoy, and Spider-Avenger Miller, with a little bit of YouTube magic, shall show you the Web Warriors. And we're back like a bad habit, talk about a very great movie. What's up, guys? It's been a while since I've been with the Web Warriors, or how long has it been? Maybe just a week?
Yeah, I think a week.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of routine, so.
Indeed. Well, guys, the biggest video that I've been so hyped to make, we are finally doing it today. We are talking about my favorite movie of 2021 and probably my favorite Spider-Man film of all time, Spider-Man No Way Home, which blew up the box office and just amazed so many Spider-Man fans, and a good birthday present to Web Warrior JP. So we're here to talk about basically what we liked about it, and we have a lot of theories of Marvel coming forward, but just a lot of theories and mainly what we loved about No Way Home. And as you saw in a little bit of the intro, again guys, a little bit of spoilers, so please watch this video with precaution. I do not want to spoil this movie for anyone, and if you still haven't, go to the theaters please and watch it. It's worth the watch. I think it's still in theaters, if I'm correct. I don't think it comes out on DVD until what, next month, I think. I'm pretty sure, because it came out in December, and it takes about 4 months for a movie to come out on DVD. But anyway, this film, No Way Home, has been the talk of a few years, ever since we saw the ending of Far From Home, where Peter gets his identity revealed, and we were so curious what they were going to do with this next. And it was something that was really big of a hype. And then we finally get revealed that the multiverse gets played in this film, where we get to see Doc Ock of Alfred Molina, Goblin of William Dafoe, Sandman, the Lizard, and Electro from the Amazing Spider-Man universe, and it's just, oh my gosh. So anyway, we should just get talking about what happened in the film. So at the beginning of the film, it starts, of course, where Far From Home left off, and it shows Peter and MJ trying to escape the cops because they think Spider-Man is, of course, sadly accused of murder. Web Warrior JP just left.
Oh no.
He left.
Oh, do you want to stop recording, or
Now,
wait until he comes back?
Nah, we'll probably do this a few times, but darn chip. Now wait until he comes back. So then, of course, it gets Peter getting captured by police, and then we see how he's being interrogated along with his family and his friends because they actually believe Mysterio instead of him. Then it finally gets cleared with one of the biggest things. Matt Murdock, Charlie Cox, makes a cameo in this film. Now, if you all remember in the comics, Matt Murdock actually offered to be Peter's lawyer in case he ever got in trouble. And this film adapted that really well, and especially getting Charlie Cox back as Daredevil. That was a great choice of Marvel, especially with the Kingpin in Hawkeye finally. Even though some people say he might be dead, I don't think Marvel's going to be that way, because apparently what I heard is that he literally gets killed right as he returns. Or not killed like right away, he gets killed at the end of the episode, supposedly.
Huh. Yeah, that doesn't sound...
Something smarter Marvel would do.
Yeah, no.
I feel like if Marvel does that, a lot of fans are going to be mad, especially Kingpin's actor. He just comes back in order to just get killed. Like, what is that? But what do you think of Daredevil's appearance in the film?
I thought it was pretty cool.
Like, not a wasted cameo, like, pretty well done.
Yeah. Like, even though it took me a moment to realize it was Daredevil.
Didn't I say it was Daredevil in the theater, if I'm correct?
Yeah, you told me it was Daredevil.
Like, weren't you like, what is that? It was like, it's Daredevil.
Yeah, like I just saw them like all excited right off the bat, and then me being like completely like blank face oblivious.
Who is that? Welcome back, my dude.
So just need to take care of a web situation.
Oh, you're good. We just got to the point of Daredevil in No Way Home. What do you think of his appearance?
I think it wasn't half bad, to be honest. It was
Like, not a wasted cameo?
It's only a wasted cameo if there's no Stanley. God rest his soul.
God rest his soul, man. He would have been proud of this film.
Right, but with Daredevil in there, that was really cool. I liked it.
Like,
just because, you know, I guess it didn't really matter in the end because of everything that happened. But him catching a rock or a brick without having to look, even though he's blind.
and especially Spider-Man also going for it too. Just
Yeah, I think it was pretty cool.
what I find also really cool is remember in the comics when I already mentioned this, but remember when Matt Murdock actually came to Peter in the film, or not in the film, the comics, and offered to be his lawyer, and also got into Marvel Spider-Man PS4. One of the Easter eggs of the card.
Yeah.
A blind lawyer gave me his cards if I ever needed a lawyer. Wait, how do you know I was Spider-Man though if he was blind? Great foreshadowing of Daredevil possibly making an appearance. But then we jump to when Peter's trying to get into a college with his friends, and sadly, it's not working because of everyone knowing that he's Spider-Man. So we see how Peter is wanting to fix this all, and so he goes to Doctor Strange. And what's nice about this scene that was actually different from the trailers is Peter isn't being selfish and just wants it for himself. He cares really for the people that are suffering instead of for himself. And what's nice is Strange actually sees that that was basically him. And then Wong actually, besides the trailer, doesn't forbid him from casting the spell. He says, just leave me out of it. And then what's really cool is that in the spell, we see that it does get messed up, but I still have a feeling Kang's death kind of corrupted the spell a little bit. But it was also the fact that Peter kept messing it up because he kept trying to add different people to forget. I mean, we can't fully blame him for that, at least caring for those that he was around. Mm. And then the biggest scene of the film, when he gets to go talk to the headmistress, and our boy Alfred Molina shows up as Doc Ock. And oh my gosh, that appearance could have been more amazing. As we get insight of basically what part he's in, basically he knows that his machine's gone. And what's really cool is they gave us probably a really good battle between Spider-Man and Doc Ock. I mean, Spider-Man using the Iron Spider's legs against Doc Ock's arms, I don't think anyone could have asked for anything better.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Just seeing
especially
him go
when
to...
it was like, oh, hey, look, there's some competition.
I mean, I kind of
Looks like we
liked
got some
the
competition.
turnaround as well, where where he kind of got control of Doc Ock's.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Like, I was like, okay.
Like-
I thought they were like a individual, like each claw was individually intelligent.
Well, the
And then it was just
nanobots
like-
did get on all of them, so pretty much...
No, it just got to the core, it looked like.
Yeah.
Well,
So I'm like,
that was a very comedic scene of just how we see that's how Peter can defeat him now. Hey, I'm going to use some nanotech on your arms. Like, I don't hate that idea. It made for a very comedic beat. Then gets ruined by the appearance of our boy William Dafoe as Green Goblin Baby. And oh my gosh, his suit looked awesome. I would say maybe it was a little CG, but we found out something really amazing, and it's something that really shocks me. William Dafoe in this movie did his own stunts at 62 years old. That's rare. And it was really the only reason why he agreed to return to this film was because he wanted to do his own stunts. And I respect him for it. Like, to do that at his age, I don't think many actors would do that nowadays.
Yeah.
yeah, no.
Like, we know in Spider-Man 1, he, of course, got stunt doubles a few times, but it's more or less the fact that his devotion to that character made him to where he only wanted to come back as the Goblin if he could do his own stunts. I just find incredible. And what's nice about it is then that leads to when we get introduced to the Lizard. After the Goblin tries to attack Spidey, but then phew, comes back to the sanctum. And what I find actually kind of unique is the Lizard's appearance. The Lizard's appearance in this film was actually kind of changed a little bit, because you could tell a little bit in the details of his face, to where the eyes were a little bit different, but also he had marks on his face that kind of resembled more of a lizard. And then we're introduced to the Goblin when he actually... Something that was very surprising to see is the Goblin's mask get destroyed. And it wasn't by Spidey, it was by Goblin himself. So, of course, guys, if you remember Spider-Man 1, Norman has a dual personality problem with the Goblin. When the Goblin takes control, Norman doesn't remember. And what I find amazing is we see Norman, how afraid he is, and how the Goblin is still in his head. But what's symbolic about it is the fact that he tried breaking the mask, but he can't break the Goblin's control.
Yeah.
He may rely on the mask, but the mask isn't the Goblin. And what's nice about that scene is, I don't know if you guys noticed this. Oh.
Well, the mask may be in some way connected to the Goblin.
I mean, he does talk to it like it's the actual Goblin, but there's something unique about that scene. When we see him running away after he just broke the mask,
Yeah.
did you notice that it resembled Spider-Man 2, the way Spider-Man walked away from his costume?
Yeah, a little bit.
If you look at the
Yeah.
scenes, if you look at the scenes compared, they're actually very similar. Let's see, what next? Then we are introduced to Spider-Man battling Electro and then meeting the Sandman. And what I was very surprised to see is everyone saw the gold and black suit. We were wrong about how that was made. The only part of magic was the gauntlet.
No, everything else was just turned inside out.
And it's funny because in Spider-Man Homecoming, that was teased. And I heard in an interview that that's what they planned. They wanted to tease that so then eventually they would come in with that suit and say, hey, this is a new suit. But wait, no, it's just turned inside out. And looking at that suit, it's a clever idea, but very reckless in some regards, because there are a lot of loose cords hanging out. But we are introduced to Electro as he makes his grand appearance in the MCU. And where I think he came from is... Electro seemed like he just... Here's a weird thing about the film, is it doesn't explain fully where every villain came from. We have to estimate. The only two that gave us our true areas where they came from were Electro and Ock. Ock came from the moment to where he just stabbed... So, every villain came in that knew who Peter Parker was.
I feel like Green Goblin, like Norman's, was kind of well explained.
Not
because
really.
it was kind of like immediately after, since Sandman still kind of recalled it.
But no, the thing is with Goblin is it had to have been from when he just found out Peter Parker was Spider-Man. And the one thing that a lot of people are really curious about is why pulled in Electro, since he doesn't know who Spider-Man is. But what I find interesting is this. Ock came from where he just found out Peter was Spider-Man, and he describes in the film that he had him by the throat. And I'm estimating he was choking him right at the moment where he found out, and he said he wasn't going to destroy his invention, then gets taken out. Electro, more or less when he just got defeated. And it was, of course, zapped. That's where I feel like he was taken. And the other ones are very hard. Sandman is the easiest one. He came from after Spider-Man 3's conclusion, which makes absolute sense because when he first meets Peter, he actually is helping him. In the trailer, it showed how he's actually helping Peter fight Electro, because he asks him, it's Flint, remember? I'm not your Peter. What do you mean you're not my Peter? Oh no. It's like, Peter? Peter? Peter Parker? We're all Peter Parker. Just get that scene of just every Spider-Man in the universe that's named Peter Parker, just like, but we're all Peter Parker. But Lizard and the Goblin are the two hardest ones to differ. My estimation is this. Lizard must have been taken out right after he found out Peter was Spider-Man, but what I'm estimating is it must have been from after he found out he was planning his big attack on New York City.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then we have this moment to where the Goblin, he's the hardest one to figure out, but what I'm assuming is it must have been from after he just found out Peter's identity, because the next scene follows May as she just met Norman Osborn. And Norman is, of course, in full control, and the Goblin is still in him, but we don't know if he's going to break out or not. But he shows a very great scarce. So I'm estimating it's around the time he just found out and was about to lay waste to Peter Parker's life, because he seemed very panicked. But there's something interesting that we also learned in this scene. Everyone knows Peter's origin, my apologies, of getting bit by an Oscorp spider. But in this universe, the MCU, Oscorp doesn't exist. And what I'm curious about is, it was an Oscorp spider in the comics, so what spider bit him in the MCU?
Yeah.
It's one speculation that we have is just...
Well, it's more of the Spidey sense and his overall power, but I think, if there were no spider and he didn't have, all the stuff that normally makes Spider-Man, but I think he would still be, a Spider-Man tech base.
Well, no, he said he was bitten by a spider.
Yeah.
We just don't know where the spider came from, or hopefully in Spider-Man Freshman Year, which is a TV series coming out of Tom Holland's Spider-Man, it's said to show us the origins of his Spider-Man, so I'm hoping we get some exposition of basically what spider bit him. But May then convinces Peter, as we're shown...
Wait, does Oscorp exist in the video games, or...
Yes,
even in the Miles Morales one?
Yes.
Okay.
Because Miles Morales' game is a direct sequel to Marvel Spider-Man.
Okay.
It's not the intended Marvel Spider-Man 2, which thankfully comes out next year. And I'm so hyped for that.
Okay.
But, so, if I'm correct, May then convinces Peter, instead of just sending them back to die, she wants Peter to help them all to cure them. Which is a unique thing because it shows May's character. And the actress who played May in this film, I just truly love the choice because, yes, she may be young and hot. You can't deny that. I remember one of my friends, when I went to go see Spider-Man Homecoming, we were about to invite another guy to go with, but he didn't want to go because of what they did to Aunt May. He goes, "No, man, they screwed up Aunt May. They made her hot as F." And... I can admit that threw me off guard.
They made her a MILF.
Pretty much. I will not forget when I first saw her in Civil War, just like, that's Aunt May? That's Aunt May, this young woman? But in this film, she gives her best performance of the whole series, in my opinion.
This Peter Parker is actually one of the younger ones, it looks like.
Well,
way younger.
Well, compared to every single actor, he is the youngest because he's actually the one that's at the right age, because when Peter first became Spider-Man, he was 15. And he starts out as 15. And surprising enough, what I find kind of weird is it seems like these films take place after a year, because in Homecoming, he was 15. In Far From Home, he was 16, and in this film, he's 17. So my curiosity is, how much time passes? That's what keeps throwing me off. I mean, we get 15-year-old Peter Parker when he first starts out. Then he turns 16 in Far From Home, and then in this film, he's 17. It's like the Home Alone trend of Kevin McAllister, and the timeline that doesn't make sense.
Don't get me started on the Home Alone crap.
No, the first movie, he's 8 years old, and then in the second film, he's 10. And yet everyone in the film says that everything that happened a year ago, when theoretically, he should be freaking 9. And then in Home Alone 4, when they bring back Kevin McAllister, he's 9.
Yes,
and yet, that's supposed to be after he dealt with those villains, when he was 10. So what the heck?
Alright, I think we're getting a little off track.
Alright. In defense of 15, 16, 17 with Homecoming to
Far From Home.
Far From Home,
Then No
to
Way
No
Home.
Way Home, it is logical to think that it is a year apart from each of those.
I mean, that makes sense personally because we don't know exactly how much time really passes, but we can estimate about a year passes in each film. Anyway, to get off of Kevin McAllister before I go find Macaulay Culkin, shut up. Where we are led to next is we're led to the Sanctum, to where Spider-Man actually gets into a fight with Doctor Strange about the villains because he wants to save them and not send them home. Well, not send them home to die. Which is funny. Sandman gives us a line in the film to where he describes how Ock and Goblin both died fighting Spider-Man. And it's funny because every single villain there died except for two. And that's the Lizard and Sandman. And what's funny is just like, it's unique because it's weird how you realize two of them are still technically alive and the other three are dead. And it's funny, I guess this could go into a little bit of a part to where I was amazed to find this out. Lizard and Sandman in this film, for those of you who don't already know, they were fully CG. Their actors could not make it. Did you know that?
I didn't.
I looked this up not too long ago, and Sandman, it was revealed that his actor couldn't make it for unknown reasons, so he had to provide only a voice. But even though it was just a voice, it's still the best Sandman that we had from this movie, which was sadly a disappointment to most fans. But surprisingly enough, this was a Spider-Man movie I grew up with, so I don't fully hate on it.
I get it. They screwed up with Spider-Man not having web shooters, but
Well,
it wasn't great. It wasn't awesome.
Like the
It
first
wasn't
two
terrible.
Like the
It
first
was-
two films were incredible.
It was in that midway. It was like, yeah, that was how good it was.
Yeah. Fun fact actually about Spider-Man 1, originally they did plan for Maguire to have web shooters, but they didn't eventually go along with it because I think it was going to become too much of a difficult thing to probably shoot every time. And plus, I think it was the design of the suit, if I'm correct, that a web shooter just wouldn't make sense on the suit. And it's why they changed Tobey Maguire's web fluid to being organic instead of web shooter based.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so then we're introduced to this Peter helping them, and he actually does cure them. The first one he cures is Doc Ock, and he fixed the inhibitor chip on the back of his neck, and thankfully that brings back our favorite Otto Octavius.
Yes. I like how he stood that way through the entire film. Like, he played the villain just so he could get close and then just be like, no, you kind of move.
I know, because it's a really great thing. And then we're introduced to a very shocking scene, and one to where we clearly see how strong Peter's spider sense is. Or at least MCU Peter's, because I guess, Josh, do you want to explain the spider sense of the past Spider-Man?
My legs.
As they can't even see your leg.
I know, but don't look at my legs. Anyways,
Can you explain to us the past Spider-Man's spider sense?
past Spider-Man.
Basically, Toby and Andrew's, their spider senses.
Oh.
What are you doing?
Gang.
The confusion jutsu.
Jesus, not this again. Okay, so in the way I believe it is that I'll start off with Tom's. Tom's spider sense is in a way a lot more sixth sense awareness, because in the movie somehow he just, he knows something about Norman Osborn that feels off. And either it's because of gut instinct that helped him along with spider sense, or it
just
was
flat out spider sense.
It looked like it was flat out spider sense, because he walked from that room that he was in, the back room, and was like, wait a minute, I hear something. Walks out, looks around, boom. There's Norman Osborn going crazy again.
That's
So
a neat trick. That sense of yours.
So the thing is, I feel like Tom's is more of a sixth sense, as in he knows about something before ahead of time. He just needs to be aware of it, especially in a room full of supervillains.
Like with Avengers Infinity War, when he sensed the Guardians coming before they actually threw the bomb in.
Yeah.
So just a warning, if I lay eggs in you guys, I'm sorry. I do not want another pop culture reference out of you. You know, I'm trying to say that something is coming. Pew! And then Far From Home, how quick he was able to catch Mysterio's hand before the bullet shot.
Yeah. See, the thing with Andrews and Toby's, it just seems like they're... And it's also the possibility that they're from different dimensions and different Oscorps. And so, Toby's Oscorp has a spider that focused on organic webbing at the...
And more instinctive kind of base.
Yeah, more instinctive kind of base, like, because if you see it in, I believe it was Spider-Man 1 when he was fighting, not Doc Ock.
Flash?
No.
Or Goblin. Sorry,
Goblin.
I was going off of the very
Flash
first
Thompson.
when he first used the spider sense to sense
Right.
all around him, the fly, the spitball, and then eventually
the
a fist.
No, and see, and the thing is that I feel like Toby's Peter is more instinctual. So if he sees it, like when Goblin throws a pumpkin bomb, it comes out with little bats.
Oh, great.
From those things, he had to instinctually react because there was a point in time where those same bats in that same scene came out. He had to block each one, and he still got hurt by one of them. So it's instinctual. If he doesn't react on his instinct, then he doesn't.
No wonder why he hates them in Spider-Man 3. Hate those things.
With Andrew, however, I feel
like is more like a spider because an example in the sewers.
How
he shot a
uses
web
his
in
webs.
how he shot a web in every single tunnel.
well, and not to mention that we don't know what Tom's spider looked like at all.
Yeah.
So we can't really assume anything based off of the spider's attributes. We can only base it off of Tom's. But with Toby's had a, it was a regular spider. Just it seemed like it was like a Black Widow type of spider, but it had a big, I don't know what those things are called, but it's basically a big sack where all the web comes out of and a thin body. But with Andrew's, hopefully I recall this correctly, his was very skinny. Even the little...
It was, because remember he pulled it out of his neck? And I think the area, I guess we could call it the butt, was it was big, but not as big.
Yeah, no, it was thin. It was quite thin. And I feel like that's just a way for, that's the reason why these Toby, Andrew, and Tom have different abilities, different styles, along with their spider sense. With Andrew, I believe it's more, he does have that sixth sense in there, but it's
not as quick or something.
It's definitely not as quick.
Yeah.
Definitely not as quick. Like when he got shot by a gun, and when he was running away from the cops in the first Amazing Spider-Man movie.
The spider sense didn't catch quick enough, and then he got shot in the leg.
Yeah, so his is more of like an alarm clock that he needs to set. Set, I would say.
Hey, that good scene.
Oh, yeah. But Toby's, like I said, instinctual. Andrew's, I feel like, is more of an alarm clock, and he has to set it up. Kind of like how Toby's reacts, but he has to set up the alarm clock, know that danger's coming, and he has to also react to it. Toby's was more instinctual, and Tom could see into somewhat of a near future type of spider sense, and not like visions, but danger.
And then we see how his spider sense is actually fast. And I think I remember you said this after the film. It seems like his spider sense more or less takes over his body, sort of, because we see how sometimes it feels like he doesn't fully control it. Because
how he just drifted when he was he just kind of drifted immediately upon detecting that Green Goblin was in the area.
I mean, especially the fact that I think it was Sandman. He asks, "What's the matter?"
Yeah, no.
And then after Sandman knocks him out of that, instinctively reacts.
And then, of course, we get... Oh my gosh, William Dafoe's performance in this film was so incredible. How we see clearly how he's able to switch between Goblin and Norman so easily is amazing. There's actually a little fun fact that I found out about the film that I did not know. In Spider-Man 1 and in this one, William Dafoe actually wore false teeth because William Dafoe actually has gap teeth. And when he's Norman Osborn, his teeth are straight. But when he turns into the Goblin, his teeth are crooked. I kind of like that little detail, how you can tell which one's Norman, which one's Goblin. And it's a nice little detail that I feel like the directors tried to layer into so you can tell which one is which. And I feel like an idiot that I didn't even realize that. Yeah. Then we get into one of the best fight scenes of the film. Not the best, that comes later, but a very good one, where we see Spider-Man go up against Goblin, and we see for once Tom finally throwing a punch. But we clearly see how Goblin is a lot stronger than we thought.
Oh no, that type of that Gobby, I can only imagine that he was pulled at the instance of, oh hey, Green Goblin knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, but Norman doesn't know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. He was pulled from that where Green Goblin was just getting his power to start, and Green Goblin's brutal.
I know, because there was a moment of the fight scene where Goblin and him go through a bunch of floors. I heard him go, ooh.
Yeah, because what happened was Spider-Man in that scene hooked his legs around him and almost pinned him against the wall and just started just...
And as he just starts...
1, right, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And then just looks up and starts laughing like the Joker to Batman.
Yeah, no, Norman starts laughing like, guess what? I've been in WWE before. Turns around, just throws him down into several floors. That is ridiculous.
I mean, we clearly know what Toby was dealing with when he fought him now, because the fact that he was able to do all of that, oh my gosh.
Not to mention that it's with Green Goblin versus Tom Spider-Man, it's bioengineering versus a kid that knows a lot about tech.
And then eventually we do know that he does know how to fight, but funny enough, in this first fight, I actually read that he was holding back. Because, of course, he didn't want to fully hurt Norman, but we clearly see how much of a hassle that was, because...
Why is he holding back?
I could say he was, because...
Why is he?
We'll get into that later. But anyway... Hold on.
Yeah, neither do I.
Hold on. We're going to get into that later.
You're going to have to explain that well.
Hey, we're going to explain that later. But, anyway, let's get on with this. Then we come to when Aunt May... God rest her soul. In this film, they decided to do the drastic move of Aunt May.
Aunt May's dead, son.
Oh my gosh, no!
But yeah, no.
Just rip off the Band-Aid. Too soon.
What, we had to deal with it in Spider-Man PS4.
Don't. You're gonna make me cry. But
honestly,
no.
Okay, if I were to be honest, I feel like Spider-Man PS4's Aunt May's death was a lot sadder.
Oh, I agree.
Than the one.
But we can still at least say that this one was actually pretty sad.
It didn't wrench my heartstrings as much as the PS4 one, but it still did. It's like, oh no, Aunt May, please.
Because
get up.
What's sad about this scene is Aunt May actually tried saving Peter by curing the Goblin, but the cure didn't work because...
Or there wasn't enough of it.
Well, no. The fact that the cure wasn't finished synthesizing yet. She pulled it right where it was about to. I think it was like 80% before she pulled it away.
So there wasn't enough.
No, there wasn't. There was enough, but the cure wasn't fully done processing.
Because there wasn't enough.
No, it was. It's not that. Ugh. Anyway, she cures him, and then Goblin, of course, brings his glider in, and then throws a bomb that nearly. Yeah. But then Aunt May sadly passes. But then we get something interesting. More the fact that Peter first hears the phrase, with great power must come great responsibility, this time not from Uncle Ben, but from Aunt May. And we find out that's the first time he's ever heard that. And my biggest question is, if that's true, then why didn't Uncle Ben say it? Why hasn't Uncle Ben really been mentioned a whole lot by his name, Uncle Ben? It gets us really curious for what Uncle Ben's character is in the MCU. If he's something big or if he's not.
Tom Holland's Uncle Ben is gonna be an evil villain. Yes.
Oh, if he is,
it's a crapshoot of a guess, but dude, maybe.
Oh my god, I'm just joking about that.
Yeah, because I hope not, dude. Because if they do that, that's just a disgrace to the great Uncle Ben.
That's a.
I know, but okay, but it would be a really great way to screw with our
fans.
intentions.
Well, he has
Because-
he already has been Spider-Man, so why make him a villain?
Okay, because there is, well, in the comics, in the running series for the Spider-Verse, there is an Uncle Ben that had his son and wife, his son Peter Parker. Was it his son or was it his nephew? Nephew. Thank you.
I don't think Uncle Ben ever had Peter Parker as a true son, but Peter sees him as a father.
Or am I? Let's go with nephew just to be safe. His nephew. I'm gonna go with son. I'm gonna go with son because
we'll look it up later.
Yeah. I'm gonna be safe. I'm gonna say son because last time I checked, I thought it said son. It wasn't nephew. So Uncle Ben's son, Peter Parker, and his wife, not Aunt May, but May Parker, they died. I don't exactly know how, but they died. And he took up the mantle of Spider-Man. I don't know how he got bit. I don't know what exactly happened with him, but he eventually became Spider-Man. Now, since in multiple universes, Uncle Ben dies, either in, the cold-blooded way that we know and love in the Spider-Man films, or the
original comics.
Well, that's still the cold-blooded ways that we know in the film as well. Him getting shot. Then there's the other ways where he gets eaten alive by dozens of spiders. But that aside, and don't look that up, please. Don't look that up.
Wasn't that in the Noir universe?
No.
Oh wait, no, that was from Vulture.
No, yeah, Noir was Vulture because he was a cannibal. Vulture was a cannibal and ate Uncle Ben alive, as far as I know. But in a different universe, Uncle Ben, Peter Parker gets bit by a spider. But it was, by my guess, I don't know the population of female to male spiders. I've never been really that interested into it because I don't like spiders at all.
Oh,
And
spiders aren't that bad.
And yet we love Spider-Man.
It's just, they're not bad. It's just...
Meh.
Because the one thing is that this spider that he got bit, that this Peter Parker got bit by, was the type of spider that would bite and lay eggs.
Bite and then lay eggs like in the wound?
Yeah, by biting that person, it would lay eggs.
I don't know what spider that is, but now I have a spider to be afraid of.
Mm-hmm. And then Peter Parker turns into a type of man spider that once he bites someone, there are eggs that are laid into that person. He saves Uncle Ben as food, bites Mary Jane, and, Mary Jane is all scared and everything. Oh my god, it's just a bad dream. Goes to mirror, looks at her neck, sees something moving, and then all of a sudden there's just a bunch of spiders that cover her whole entire body.
Thank you for the nightmare fuel.
Don't worry, dude. I'm here 110% away.
But in all seriousness,
Yet we are
that's actually-
friends.
That's probably on the smaller scale of things I've been afraid of.
Yeah. No.
Anyway, let's get off of that because...
But that's okay. The reason why I bring that up is because in nearly almost every iteration of Uncle Ben, we either see him die or become a good guy. So if there is some way, somehow, that Uncle Ben turns into some sort of villain for Tom Holland...
My thing is, I just want them to do it right. I don't want them to botch it like they've done a lot. You know what I mean?
I don't entirely know, actually.
And you're good. Anyway, let's move on. Then we get, of course, all the villains have escaped. We actually get J.K. Simmons doing something big for J. Jonah, wearing the exact same outfit that he wore in this film during the final battle. And it was a really good callback to just the greatness of J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson. But then we follow up with Ned and MJ as they're trying to find Peter. But then Ned finds out that he's magic. Doctor Strange level magic.
That he can actually know better. Because it took Doctor Strange a long while.
It took him like, I think a few months, I think.
However,
A few months, yeah.
A few months and then being thrown into an extreme condition.
Mm-hmm.
Surrender, Stephen. He'll show up any second now. Oh no, not again.
And then Ned is just like...
Not to mention that with the sling ring is, a practice.
Mastery of the
type.
sling ring.
Does Doctor Strange still have a sling ring when he wants to open a portal?
Yeah, if you notice throughout the film, he always wears it.
Oh.
He doesn't wear it all the time, but he wears it whenever he's using magic or a portal. Like, you could see it in, what is it? You can see it in Avengers Infinity War when he holds up the two shields and he's, talking to the Guardians and asking them, what master do you serve?
Oh.
And then I think he wore it in Thor Ragnarok when he opened the portal, if I'm correct. We just don't see it a whole lot because it was more established in Doctor Strange 2 that we would see it, but then know that it's there throughout the series.
Oh.
He also wore it in Endgame too. You can clearly see it when he's holding the water.
Oh.
But yeah, anyway, we get this, and then Ned opens a portal to Peter Parker. But the cool thing is, our theories have finally come true. We got Andrew and Toby in this film, baby.
Like it was really a secret, though.
It was the
Andrew
one...
can't lie to save his life.
He tried.
Yeah,
like,
it's just like...
There was a review that I saw that it was a, it was...
Toby and Tom kept a better secret.
No, the fact is... Dude, the fact
Tom
is...
beat out Andrew.
You know what's funny? Toby was only asked about it like maybe once, and after that,
Yeah, he's
it was
a-
in.
However,
see-
Andrew gave a tell right at the beginning.
Yeah, if you look at some of the times when Toby looked at the paparazzi, he would just be walking along with his day, and then he would look at the camera with a solid expression on his face, just.
But
and
yeah,
it
no.
would be the scariest thing because you didn't know if he knew where you were until he snapped right in the direction of the camera and just like, what the?
But yeah, no. It's amazing because I remember this interview I saw from Andrew Garfield, and it's a thing where he answers the internet's most asked questions. And one of them, will Andrew play Spider-Man again? And he nearly says yes. He goes, yeah, I know what you're trying to do. No, I'm not. For crying
And
out
then
loud.
in several interviews, they keep on hounding him about that.
Especially the fact
And
that we
then-
got leaked footage behind the scenes of a certain scene that was in the film of him. And it's funny because he
and
was
he
literally
said it wasn't him.
like, just, are you sure? No, that's CG, my man.
And the more he tries to lie about it, the worse he gets at it.
Yeah, no, it's at first, okay, it's a decent lie. It's getting worse. Alright, this is just about as bad as I was trying to lie to my ex-girlfriend about this crap.
It's more or less the fact that it's surprising because Tom's usually the spoiler type, but he tried his hardest not to spoil, but it's funny.
You know, Tom has, like, his first movie that he did with Homecoming or Far From Home or Infinity War, or was it Civil War?
Civil War was his very first appearance in the MCU.
I think the first time that we ever saw him crack that much would be Infinity War.
Oh, I thought it was Far From Home.
No,
Because he spoiled Far From Home a lot.
If you look back at some of the interviews, sometimes Tom would just, you would see other actors from Infinity War just like, no, shh.
Oh, wait a minute. Do you remember Mark Ruffalo?
Oh God, I hate that man. I don't even care.
He doesn't mean he hates him in that way, but
I don't even care what he believes in. It's just that man.
spoiled Infinity War.
He's spoiled it. It's like, oh my God, like everybody dies, and the actor for Rhodey just comes up like, dude.
I was like, was I not supposed to say that? But yeah, no.
Can we
Okay.
cut that out?
Yeah, it's so Anyway, we get to Andrew's very first appearance in the film, and this was the very first time I've ever seen anyone react in the theater, plus it was opening night, but everyone clapped in the theater, including us, because Andrew is here finally, and his appearance was really good.
No, mine was Toby.
Oh, no, dude, we clapped, but guys, we of course see Andrew for a little bit as he's doing stuff, and we of course see him back as Spider-Man, but as soon as Toby walked through the portal,
everyone clapped as loud as they could.
No, we clapped, and then you heard, yes, yes!
It erupted.
I know, because as soon as Toby came through that portal, I screamed, yes, he's back! Like, I even heard this guy yell, yes!
You know, it would be funny if someone showed up at the screening and they said, "This was my childhood."
Well, it's just like, dude, it's literally Tobey Maguire back near his 50s playing this role again, and especially after the fact that he retired from acting and was told Spider-Man 4 wasn't going to happen. The fact that he's back was phenomenal, man.
Oh, yeah.
And what was nice about it is we see how he hasn't changed. Like, seriously, I don't know what it is. Maguire is like Defoe and Molina. He doesn't age.
He's secretly a vampire.
Oh no, vampire Spider-Man.
Or there's some Hollywood magic that's going on.
Well, it's
okay. No. You want to know some real voodoo magic? Look at the actor for Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor.
He's not even that old.
No, it's just that you expect him to see like his face and his hair to age just a little bit, but it looks like he's in his mid-20s. It's ridiculous.
Well, he is a legend.
That doesn't explain his supernatural bullcrap. With his hair waving around like this, like as if he were some good knockoff version of Justin Bieber. You kidding me? That beard? Oh. I wish I had that good luck with a beard. I feel.
I'm trying to, but thankfully we're getting Ewan McGregor back as
gross, but
hey,
I mean,
you can grow a beard.
Mine's
still trying.
Amish beard.
Anyway,
we're living in Amish paradise.
A goatee might look nice.
A goatee for him, I could definitely see. For me, I could see an Ewan McGregor sort of beard, sort of.
Me or him?
You.
Goatee?
Yeah.
What?
You can pull it off.
What?
Anyway, basically,
Maybe.
I guess on the topic of Ewan McGregor, I'm very happy that he is coming back as Obi-Wan. But anyway, back to their entrance finally. We then, of course, see how...
I can see it. It's shape.
Web Warriors.
You got us on the goatee thing.
Hey.
Anyway, what did you guys think of their eventual return? If you did not know that it was going to happen, what did you think of it?
For the potential return of...
No, like, when they came in, we didn't know that they were already going to be in the film, what did you think of their return?
If the reporters sucked absolute garbage, and they were rubbish at their jobs, and they weren't so good at...
Hiding shit?
No. If the reporters weren't so good at extracting information from people and also hiding shit every so often, if they weren't so good, if they weren't so good at their jobs as journalists and reporters, we would be so ecstatic to see them. We would be like, oh my, we never saw this coming. But thanks to the reporters, thanks to gossip, thanks to technology, it was spoiled way before because we knew how to look with our eyes and say, oh, wow.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew.
But anyway, well, guys, thank you for trying to hold it in as much as you could. And don't worry. Yeah, you know. But
no,
but basically, even if though we saw it coming, what did you think of their returns?
Backwards.
Like, yeah, but their returns, even though we knew it was coming, what did you think of it?
I think it was pretty good.
Like, it was a good way to bring them in, comedic, but also very good towards Spider-Man fans who have been fans of...
I mean, I guess it was a bit odd at first because traditionally, I can speak, the Sling Ring would would teleport you to different places, not different.
No, but don't
dimensions.
you remember? They were already in the dimension. Because we see that Toby said, I've been trying to find your friend because I think he needs my help, our help.
Right.
So we know that they're already there, and they were already looking for Peter.
I'm an idiot. Okay, I totally forgot about that.
You're good.
I totally forgot that they got slingshotted into the universe that Tom was in.
Because
So
I think when you first watch it, you wouldn't really see that, but Toby kind of gives the line that they already were in that dimension, and they're already trying to find Peter. Because we, of course, get confused when he says, I've seen you two, and we don't know what he means by that, but then he gives us a little insight. He's been here as long as the villains have. But then they go to find Tom, and he's sitting on top of Midtown High's high school building. And we see how he's in a total mess after his Aunt May's death. But what's amazing is then we see two of them jump down, and we see all of them together. And then they're giving him, of course, comfort knowing that they know what he's been through. We get a little insight of where they all were at this time. Andrew describes how he lost Gwen, and how we find out that he's apparently became a little more vengeful towards a lot of the villains. How some people speculated that he actually started killing people because he says in the film, I stopped holding my punches.
well, that doesn't necessarily mean.
No, I know. Like, I don't think he killed anyone, but I
Just
think
because
he's gotten close to it a few
but
times.
the terminology of not holding your punches sometimes holds the meaning of you're going for the kill. When
Yeah.
sometimes it just means, okay, I'm going to punch you as hard as possible. Yeah, you're going to be in the hospital.
Well,
for a
so
couple
you
weeks.
you know what I mean. But the
Right.
fact that it looks like he's nearly come to it a few times,
Yeah.
to where he's nearly probably killed people. But the
Who
thing
knows, it
is,
could be the Last Stand.
true. Actually, it's funny.
Spider-Man. Last Stand Spider-Man. That's
Tobey Maguire was originally teased to come in as that appearance before they ultimately decided on we get our OG Toby back.
Yeah.
But then, of course, we hear Tom say what Aunt May told him, with great power comes great responsibility. And they both knew what he was talking about and finished his sentence. And then they say Uncle Ben said it the day that he died. And that's, of course, one instance to where it's like, how big of an impact is Uncle Ben on Tom's Peter? Because it's like he didn't even know who they were talking about, because he didn't even say Uncle Ben once. It was Toby and Andrew that said it was Uncle Ben.
Yeah, I mean, if you really look at it, Uncle Ben has never really been mentioned in Tom's universe at all.
Like, he's been mentioned, but not by name. Like, sort of occurrences. Like, the very first scene of when Tom's Peter finally gets introduced. We see a necklace around May, which, of course, has a wedding ring on it. But then we also hear Tom say, if you can do the things that I can and you don't, the good people get hurt. Which is, of course, referring to Uncle Ben. But the thing is, it's like, we don't know when Uncle Ben's going to be making an appearance. Fingers crossed, freshman year finally introduces Uncle Ben, because I want to see
Maybe.
how much of an impact he was.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But
Because, hang with me here. In Spider-Man PS4, Aunt May says somewhat of the same words, if not the exact same words, that the Aunt May says in this movie. Aunt May had to got it from somewhere.
the famous phrase,
Yeah.
when you help someone, you help everyone.
Not only
Or-
that, but she had to have some sort of you have to have some sort of you have to have somebody behind those words. You have to have
Yeah,
somebody that
exactly,
promotes
which-
you to say those words.
Which is exactly why we know Uncle Ben must have had to make some kind of an impact, but apparently not too big, like Maguire's or Garfield's Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes me... I'm really excited if Uncle Ben does show up in freshman year, and especially who they'll get to play him. I remember the tease of somehow people were saying Tobey Maguire was going to be Tom Holland's Uncle Ben. No.
Yeah, now you can't do that. Now you just can't do
Since
that.
he's already made an appearance.
Also, Aunt
Well,
May's a
actually-
younger one.
Yeah, not to mention that. But okay. Now that we know how good these guys are with CGI, they could possibly have Tobey Maguire's shape be fit in
Which that could work
with his
perfectly.
beard.
Like, maybe get an actor maybe that looks like him, but work that facial magic. You know what I mean?
because you know the hair, you can be able to modify the hair if you wanted to, the hair color. They're good at that.
I know, because like Marvel, for example, Steve Rogers, Chris Evans did an old Steve Rogers. Peggy Carter, the same actress that portrayed her, is literally turned old in this film. Freaking Luke Skywalker now.
Oh yeah.
And I get
Yeah.
that. And then it's a,
Sorry for the loudness of that.
Oh, no, you're good, because
it's a recognition of yeah.
Since that's like a huge leap.
Yeah.
I know, because
Especially the huge age difference too.
Yeah.
and it's especially like with CGI how it's been going with, because I'm pretty sure everyone's seen the new Ghostbusters. I haven't, but I've already heard a lot about it. The OG crew comes back, and apparently Egon, the one of the members who actually sadly passed in 2014, God rest his soul, apparently he's in the film, but they CGI'd him in completely. And that's phenomenal what they can do. Because if they're able to CGI in a whole actor, it's like CG is just, it's sort of taken over, but it's working. I mean, Sandman the Lizard, their actors couldn't make it at all, and yet they're in the film. Sadly, what they were only able to provide was a voice.
Well, okay, Lizard is a lot easier just because, you have a monster that you can work with. With Sandman, that actually was based off of the actor.
Because they made...
Because the similar shape, even with the sand on him, he still had the same
Exactly,
shape that he had
and
back
the
then.
reason why they had to make him the sand appearance is because I know no one in the film would have wanted to see a CGI take of Sandman's actor. I feel bad, I cannot remember his name, but it's the fact that I know no one would have just wanted to see that throughout the film, so that's why they gave him the sand appearance. But then what we get is Spider-Man and the other Peters developing cures for every villain. And we, of course, get the funny meme of, what? Me? Him? Peter, what? Well, what? Oh, were you talking to that? Peter Parker? We're all Peter. And it's funny, they actually did the pointing meme in that scene as well.
Yeah, no, it was barely recognizable, like, as it was in the cartoon show and all the memes that show about it. But it was still there.
Yeah. And then what's the funniest scene in this film, or one of the funniest scenes with all of them, is Toby shows off his organic webs. Because, Ned, here's your web cartridges. Oh, thanks, man. What's that for? Oh, it's web cartridges for my web shooters. Why? That came out of you. Yeah. You can't do that, huh? No. How on earth does that even work?
And I like how Andrew and Tom just kind of like go all nerd out, and
Because I get
Toby
it. Because
all like weirded out about
It's like,
it and insecure.
It's like,
I don't know.
Where does it come from?
pretty
like,
much.
have
Did you check your prostate?
Okay, let's take that actually to when we finally see
But
all of them.
Toby just felt insulted a little bit about it.
Like take it to the Statue of Liberty, for example, when we finally get, that's where the final battle is staged, and what I find hilarious, so you like make your own web fluid in your body. I'd rather not talk about this. No, I'm not saying, are you teasing me? No, he's not teasing you, it's just that we can't do that, so we're curious how you do it. And then I just love how awkward, like, I wish I could show you, but I don't do it on will. So have you ever had a web block? Yeah, just as you said, I had a web block.
Huh.
And it's funny, just like, we see how he doesn't even know, and he's trying to explain it to his other counterparts, where it's just like, I don't know how it works.
I just do it.
Pretty much. Like, what I find really interesting
I
is...
make my dream come true when I shoot a web. So
By
I just do
shooting
it.
sticky white fluid.
Pretty much.
You know what I find really nice about this film is I love how the three Spider-Men act together, because it's amazing because they all act off of each other, because like we see how Toby is like the older brother, but he's of course still fun and entertaining to watch. Andrew, of course, is like, he's the second oldest, but he's of course one of the most fun to watch, because No Way Home proves how good of a Spider-Man Andrew Garfield is, because the problem with Andrew in the previous films is he's a phenomenal actor, but he was given a bad script for Spider-Man. And in this film, he was finally given a good script.
Yeah.
And especially the fact that we've got rumors that he's coming for Spider-Man 3. And fingers crossed they give him that chance. Literally, fans are petitioning all over the world to make this happen. And I hope it does, because Andrew is a really great actor, and I feel like he deserves a third film finally.
Yeah.
Like, he was...
He never had a trilogy of his own.
And Tom, oh my gosh, what Tom is getting is ridiculous. He's already shown up 5 times. Well, no, 6 now.
He was a good actor.
Civil War, 3 solo films, both Avengers. He's got 3 more films and then a TV show. That will make him Spider-Man 10 times. I'm amazed at that. But it's sad though, because also once his 3rd film comes out, he sadly said that he's going to retire after that. He's willing to play Spider-Man for these last 4 things because Tom is 25 and he's about to be 26. And by the time he finishes Spider-Man, he's going to be in his 30s. And he doesn't want to keep Spider-Man forever because he wants to give the opportunity to other people that, of course, will eventually take on his role. And I really respect that. I mean, Tom's had a great career so far. Like, Spider-Man, The Devil All the Time, and now, literally, Nathan Drake, which will come out 2 days after I turn 20. I'm really surprised about that.
Woo!
Yeah, some people might say I'm getting old, but
Woo!
shut up.
Well, I'm 19. I feel old already.
I'm 21. I'm ready to cure my depression.
I thought it's already cured when you hang out with us.
Oh, it's true, but I really need someone else. Something
There's
personal.
Jack for that.
Oh, you sad man.
Anyway, let's get back to the film. So then we are, of course, introduced to the final battle, and of course, after we just get a really good scene of Toby, Andrew, and Tom interacting with each other, and especially the fact that, I guess we forgot to mention this, Andrew got to hear from the OG Spider-Man himself that he's amazing after he got so much hate.
Oh, yeah.
Can we rewind it back to "You're lame"? You are not lame. You are amazing. And I find that really nice because he literally got to hear from the OG Spider-Man that he's an incredible actor. It's just like...
Yeah, no, it's
like,
fact,
suck it, fans.
It's just that I was one of those people that did not like Andrew Garfield's portrayal of Spider-Man, but I didn't know how bad the script was. I thought he was just a bad actor.
Well,
but I was looking through other films that he did. I don't remember the names of them, but he is magnificent.
I know, because the thing is, like, with me, I thought he was a great Spider-Man. As I got older, I started to see he's a little iffy, but that's just because then I found out he was given a bad script. Because when you see him in other films, holy crap! If anyone is, have you guys seen Hacksaw Ridge, the film that he did?
I don't.
It's based on the war in Japan. I don't remember what war it was, but dude, he gives a phenomenal performance in that film. And it's like, you say this guy's a bad actor? But yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like people with saying the new actor for Batman,
Robert Pattinson,
yeah, you know, in him being most recognized for the Twilight series.
Like, my thing is, like, I'm excited to see him play Bruce Wayne. Batman, not so much. Because it's really iffy towards me, because I don't know how he's going to do.
Yes, I'm going to be a skinny Batman that looks really jacked on the outside. But on the inside, I'm going to feel very starved.
Oh my
gosh. Look like this.
Oh my gosh.
Look at my cheeks.
Anyway, let's get off.
Look at my cheeks. Look at them.
Let's get off of Batman for a while before I have to go call in Bad Avenger into the room. I do not want to bring him in yet. I want to bring him in.
Avenger?
Oh yeah, haven't you seen him before? He's started my channel twice. I've had to kick him out because he keeps trying to take over my channel.
Bat. Is that a play on words for an actual bat? Or...
I'll explain after. But anyway,
Oh no.
Well, guess the Game War's coming up.
No!
Bat Gang versus Spider Gang Part 2.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, coming to the final battle, which is probably my most favorite final battle, we see the 3 Spider-Man against all of the villains, and it's an incredible thing. We get to see Jamie Foxx give a phenomenal performance as Electro, as we see his new look, and how we actually can tell that the arc reactor in the trailers and also just on his suit gives him more power.
Oh yeah.
As it makes him a heck of a lot more powerful.
Well, it's an arc reactor.
Well,
and Tony was able to make, like, from the first movie, the arc
Tony
reactor...
Stark was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps.
But the arc reactor originally was a big, giant device that needed so much maintenance. Tony was able to make a small one to put in his chest.
Exactly. It is just like...
Not even that. He made it even more powerful by putting...
it in.
I know it's more complicated than putting a triangle into it, but it's basically what he did.
Exactly. And
he
it's
put
just
a
like...
triangle into design and it's more powerful.
But then, of course, we get this nice look of his, and it's an amazing look because it's better than the blue. Even though I was okay with the blue, I will admit it was a little crap, but it wasn't that bad.
You know...
It could have been done a lot better, though, but
Yeah.
I prefer this new look a heck of a lot better because...
Definitely.
Yeah, but then we, of course, get to see funny moments between each Spider-Man and their villains. Like, Andrew coming in, "Hey, Max, I missed you, man. Oh." And then we see, of course, Tom interacting with these villains. It's funny how he finally got a chance to fight the Lizard when the Lizard was actually going to be Spider-Man 4's villain, originally before it got canceled. I remember pondering about this, how they took the villain that was going to be the next villain for each Spider-Man and did it in the reboot. For Spider-Man 4, it was going to be the Lizard until Spider-Man 4 got canceled, and then it was given to Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield, it was going to be the Vulture, but then that was scrapped and then given to Tom. Like, it's a unique thing, but it's funny seeing him fight the Lizard and seeing just how it's just like, "Lizard guy's here." And then we get a very nice scene in the form of when we get to see all three Spider-Men gang together and talk a plan, because we see how Tom and Toby and Andrew, my apologies, they don't know how to fight in a team, even though Toby fought with a partner. There was a meme that was made up about this.
Yeah.
"I know we suck. I don't know how to work in a team. Me neither." And we just see Harry and Heaven. "All right, I'll go screw myself then." And it's just like, yeah, you kind of...
I mean, and if we're talking about team, not a partnership.
Yeah.
Can we
Yeah.
appreciate the fact that the Avengers were called a rock band?
I just love that. I have been in a team. I don't want to brag, but I will. I was in the Avengers. The Avengers? That's great! What is that?
Is it like a band or something?
Is that a band? Or are you in a band? No, I'm not in a band. No, the Avengers is a Earth's mightiest. How's this helping? Oh my gosh, I love that scream of Toby, because we see that's sort of out of character for him, but it makes sense because we're in the middle of a big battle and we need a plan now.
Well, it was more like not really a scream, more like elevated.
He raised his voice like, "How is this helping?"
Pretty much. And then we, of course, see that they all do the plan, and then they, of course, do the meme of we take them off the board one at a time, and they do the point, and then, okay, Peter 1, Peter 2, Peter 2, Peter 3, and then I love Andrew's thing, wait, I love you guys.
And then,
Thank you.
And then Toby and Tom are just like awkwardly staring at him.
Hey, we gotta at least give him credit, because he, of course, loves his brothers and his other companions, and he's got a good bond. And then
it's really weird. It seems even with the it shows that even with the paparazzi, Andrew seemed a lot more fun-loving and crazy, while Tom was, really chill about it. Toby, very aggressive.
Get out of the way!
I mean, not just there are times where he's aggressive, and then there's the silent treatment aggressive. Just the silent stare of.
But then we get probably the best scene out of any Spider-Man film. All three OG Spider-Mans just swinging to their final battle. That epic scene that I can replay over and over again. And then the epic shot of all three of them. And then we get, of course, the shot from the trailer where Tom's Spider-Man lands. But then we got Toby over here, Andrew right next to him. And it's phenomenal. And
I got chills.
I know, as soon as I saw that scene, just like, here we go.
And it was in the original stances too, like, here's Toby,
So,
like, if you were looking at it.
Yeah,
they were looking at it right now.
Yeah, Toby was to the right and Andrew was to the left.
Toby, Andrew,
and then Tom in the middle. Yeah, and they were all in their OG stances. Toby, of course, in his original stance.
Crouch.
Andrew more of in a ready to fight stance, and then Tom in sort of both.
It's kind of an in-between, basically.
And then, of course, we get the shot of the trailer. Tom is jumping at all of them, and then we finally see every single Spider-Man in the shot. And we see who hits the lizard, which I don't know why I thought it was Andrew, but no, it was Toby. But yeah, it's an incredible scene just to watch. Then their plan comes to full fruition as we see they're starting to cure every villain. But then we got the scene that really shocked me in theaters, but then also I shocked them with after I figured it out. They use recycled footage from Spider-Man 3 and The Amazing Spider-Man when they show Sandman and the Lizard in their human forms. I found that amazing because in Spider-Man, when Sandman gets cured, we see how we see the clip when he just got turned into mud and he's looking. That's recycled footage from Spider-Man 3, but redid so that it looks different.
Yeah, so that the sand is slowly going away and it's not his fingers going away from mud.
Yeah. And then, of course, we get the shot of when Connors, he just turned back, but of course it's sad because he just lost his arm. And what I find cool is when you look at Toby's outfit, there was something that I forgot to mention about his costume in this film. It's nice because you see how they kept the same design, but it's a tad bit different. Because one example is the spider. Do you want to explain what I told them about you with the spiders from 1 and 2?
For Toby?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was actually really fascinating because at the very least, Toby's front spider at first was small. It would be...
And differently shaped.
I think, yeah, it was small. It was just, as far as I remember, it was small. It fit like that much on his chest.
And then, of course, it looked different.
But in the later film, which honestly I didn't see this because I was just a kid, his spider grows out from here, still keeps the head up here, but the spider grows out to almost down to his solar plexus right here.
Yeah.
And in the No Way Home film, it's a lot bulkier. The legs are.
Yeah.
As far as I've seen it.
Yeah, because I pointed this out to him and he was actually really surprised. I'm really observant. Even when I was a kid, I noticed that and it threw me off so much. I was like, why is it different?
Yeah, no. Me was just a kid. I like seeing colors with whip shooting.
But me, apparently, I was more noticeable of things, which I was amazed by.
Yeah, no, you're probably smarter.
I don't think I was,
Yeah, we
but
were just in amazement about this movie.
It's like, oh my god, Spider-Man! Wait, where'd your socks go?
It's funny the fact that as a kid I noticed that, but I still enjoyed the film. But I guess I was a really observant kid. But then we get to the moment to where every villain got cured, and then of course we still got one more to talk about. But then they all talk to each other, and this is where something kind of interesting happens. Andrew finally talks to Electro without his mask, but Electro doesn't seem to know him. Like, he didn't even know he was Peter because he spoke to him like, you're just a kid.
Wait, are you saying that there was at one point in the Amazing Spider-Man films that...
No.
At least in Spider-Man 2, that...
He never revealed his identity to him at all. He didn't even see his face. When he talks to him, he just says, you're just a kid.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah, but one thing that's interesting is he kind of teases Miles Morales because then he goes, there's got to be a black Spider-Man out there somewhere. And Miles has already been teased, so who knows how long it's going to be until he finally shows up.
Yeah, and you were saying some along the lines of maybe Jaden Smith.
Oh, yeah. There was a lot of rumors of who's going to play Miles Morales. Apparently, the person who has been addressed as to play the next Miles or the Miles, and what I'm actually kind of surprised by is he's already worked on Spider-Man a little bit, is Jaden Smith of basically The Karate Kid and Will Smith's son.
Well, the reboot Karate Kid.
Yeah. But I find that interesting because, well, he sort of became one of my least favorite actors because of how bad he has turned. But now he's literally turned around. Like, if you watch one of his recent movies back in 2020, he looks really good. Like, he seriously turned his life around. And
yeah, you should have seen him. He went from little kid with dreadlocks and Karate Kid to what I can only assume to be
a punk phase, sort of.
Not a punk phase, no, more like he was taking after rappers, let's say, it might be too far of a stretch for Lil Nas X, but 6ix9ine.
dyeing his hair and all
Dying.
that.
Well, Jaden Smith's was pink. It was
And
pink.
purple in some regards.
Pink, purple. He had grilled teeth. It was
Really shocking to see.
It was woof.
Yeah.
All right.
And now, thankfully, he's turned it all around because,
I mean, now that you see him again, he does look a lot
like Miles Morales.
Yeah, he
because,
does look a lot more like Miles Morales, and he definitely has turned his life around from what I saw.
And it's funny because Marvel's already gone to him and pitched the idea, if we were to make something with Miles Morales, would you be down to play Miles Morales? I mean, he's got the body fit, and we've seen quite clearly he's pretty athletic when he does it. Oh, I see you've already got the Mega Magnus.
You just keep talking.
But anyway, then we get probably one of the best scenes with Toby in the film. He gets to talk to Alfred Molina's Doc Ock. And it's unique because then it goes, the power of the sun in the palm of your hand. And we get this scene because it's really good towards the two of them finally meeting.
Spidey sense.
Block.
Sort of like my reflexes.
No, like I'm just like laying down and messing with my bottle, and then I just deflect the bullet as he was
Just
shooting it. I'm like, nah.
But then
Alright.
something that of course I forgot to mention is Tom's suit. For those that are going to ask questions, all that it is, it's nanotech all over his upgraded suit, which is why it looks different. But anyway, then we get Green Goblin entering the battle with a new look, but then of course one of the famous catchphrases, "Can the Spider-Man come out to play?" Which, of course, it was cool seeing Toby react to that because he looks just like, oh no. Like, he just literally, it's close up on his face as he's just eyes widened and he looks up to the sky and he sees him.
Yeah.
But what's cool about Goblin's new look is people complained so badly about the way that they made Goblin in Spider-Man 1. And I personally think he wasn't terrible.
Was it because of the armor?
It was because it doesn't resemble the original costume at all to Goblin. Because, like, an example, the mask and, of course, the armor.
Well, okay. Alright. Just go out on a limb here. The original, like, movie costumes aren't gonna necessarily portray the comics. Like, okay.
Marvel's been doing pretty good lately, but they're not gonna be perfect.
The thing is that even with Civil War, with Civil War, Iron Man's suit didn't look that snazzy.
Let's see who else.
Captain America,
Black Panther,
Hawkeye, Black Panther.
Then again, Captain
Scarlet Witch.
I'm thinking of Captain Marvel at the current moment.
Yeah,
they did her outfit kind of more towards the comics. Honestly, I will admit that.
Yeah, but her movie was just overall.
Bold forgetting of bad movie.
Ow.
I should have just done this.
Got him in the eye too.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, you're lucky that with one of my newest Nerf blasters, or it's not even Nerf, dude. Dude,
Give me the bullet. It's right behind you. Alright. No, give me the bullet. Give me the bullet. There, it's gone.
But yeah, no. This new blaster that I got, dude, it shoots over 130 FPS.
I'm ready to lose it on.
Oh no, dude, I'm not gonna shoot you with it because I already shot him with it and it hurt.
Loses an eye to a Nerf gun.
It bruised. It bruised.
Oh damn.
It's that powerful. And dude, remember.
Okay, sorry.
You're good. Anyway, so then Goblin joins the fight, and of course we get an iconic scene where everything goes down and MJ starts to fall, and we all thought in the trailer it was going to be Tom, but then he gets swooped away by the Goblin, and Andrew finally redeems himself by saving her.
You know, the thing that they pulled with Andrew saving MJ instead of literally any other Spider-Man to save her, I was kind of shocked. It's like, wait, holy crap. He got to redeem himself.
I know, he started crying as soon as he saved her.
Fitting as well.
Yeah.
Like, he started crying, dude.
On what he couldn't do.
He wouldn't be able to do, or he actually did it correctly.
I mean, he started crying when he realized, I did it. And then, of course, we got Ned. Originally, I think someone thought Toby was going to save him, but no. Dr. Strange's cloak saves him as he just levitates down.
Yeah.
But then we get my favorite scene out of the whole film, and probably the greatest fight that the MCU Spider-Man has done so far. A rematch between Goblin and Tom's Spider-Man. And in this fight, ooh, he lays into Goblin. I mean, Goblin only landed 2 blows. I mean, even at the beginning of the fight, you could tell Tom wasn't going to go easy, because you hear, poor Peter, too weak to send me home to die. No, I just want to kill you myself. And this is what I meant by he was holding back. The first fight, we see how he was holding back and not wanting to hurt him. But in this fight, the fact that Goblin only landed 2 blows is amazing, because he laid into Goblin, started to pound the ever-living crap out of him.
However, Goblin was acting more cocky than earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, the whistle
Like,
and then
it's kind of like how if Joker was finally getting Batman to kill him.
Yeah, it was. He just kind of let it happen. It's like, yes, lose control.
Oh,
make
remember in
your
Arkham
knuckles
Origins?
bleed.
Remember, come on, baby, beat me till your knuckles bleed.
Exactly.
And why stop there? But yeah, no, but we see in this fight just clearly, Goblin did not anticipate how strong Tom's Peter is, because Tom's Peter proved he knows how to drop a fool. But then what's really shocking about the scene is then Tom picks up Goblin's glider and is about to stab him with it. But then it's amazing what Toby does. He jumps in, catches the glider, and is just sitting there. He doesn't say a thing. He's just looking at him, just, this isn't you.
Or, this is very easy to get lost down a rabbit hole by.
Something like that. But then the shocking thing that happened in the theaters that scared the ever-living crap out of all of us, Toby gets stabbed by Goblin. And praise you, Father, that didn't kill him. Because I saw that, I was like, no, Toby, please don't die.
I wasn't too scared of it. It was just a cheeky stab to the side. And, I was like, oh, wow, he got stabbed.
And that's only his second time getting stabbed. And it's probably the most lethal, because the first time we saw him get stabbed was in his leg. And it only pierced him like maybe that much.
Yeah.
But then we get Doctor Strange trying to fix the spell, because Goblin just blew up the cube that we see that was going to send them all home. And it broke the spell, and many villains were about to start coming in. And this is where the film got really interesting, because we saw a lot of villains. We saw the Rhino, we saw Scorpion, we saw Kraven apparently, and surprisingly enough, Superior Spider-Man.
I didn't notice that.
Neither did I. I literally had to go back and rewatch that scene until I finally found it. But what was awesome about this scene is Peter then makes the ultimate sacrifice, to where there is no way home for him. He makes it to where Thank you. He makes the ultimate decision of having everyone forget who he is. Not just the fact that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. He makes everyone forget who he is. And that's a really big move. Even Strange didn't even want to do it, because he kept saying no until he finally agreed to it. Like, do you remember that scene?
Yeah.
Like how emotional that was, and especially as we see him say goodbye to everyone.
Yeah.
And then it works. And everyone remembers Spider-Man. They don't remember Peter at all. And then we see Peter as he promised MJ that he would try to make her remember. But then he does an ultimate thing of, as soon as he sees the dink that she received in the film, doesn't go through with his plan. He just lets her be.
Well, it's probably it was a way of, let's not screw up the natural order of things.
Yeah.
Because, every time in every single timeline, Peter Parker meets MJ in high school or later on in life, starts screwing around with her with relationship after relationship, all that fun stuff. But this iteration, now high school is over, and then we come to college. There's MJ in the college classroom at MIT, or
I don't remember where they were saying they were gonna go.
was it MIT?
No, it wasn't MIT. It was somewhere else, I think. I have to look that up too, but
What's that?
Anyway, then we get to never mind. But then we get to the scene where Tom's Peter, of course, goes to his Aunt May's grave, and this is where it pulled off something from the game. You help someone, you help everyone was engraved onto that tombstone.
Yeah.
And then we eventually follow Peter as he's now got an apartment to himself. And we know now that this is going to be quite interesting as we see how he's going to try to struggle throughout his college life. But then we get the biggest scene of the film. Tom finally goes through his final swing in a brand new suit. And oh my gosh, that suit was so incredible.
Yeah.
It's a combination of all three Spider-Man suits into one. And oh my gosh, we got Tom's mask. We got the spider size of Tobey Maguire and probably the length of maybe Andrew Garfield's, or however it was explained.
Yeah, no, on the back of it, it definitely was. It did look like it got pulled from Andrew's suit.
Yeah. And then we get the sixth villain who was in the film but not made to be a villain. Venom, Tom Hardy. It's funny, someone memed about this. He gets transported there, he goes to a bar, gets drunk, then leaves.
No, it racks up a tab.
Yeah, racks the tab, then leaves.
It's funny because originally Tom Hardy's Venom was going to be a bigger thing in the film. Like, he was actually supposed to be part of the final battle, but it never happened. I don't know why. I feel like maybe scheduling conflicts or something, but then before he leaves, we get a little drop of the symbiote left behind, which is cluing us in because Tom Holland has said that he wants to fight Venom. Even Tom Hardy agreed to it. And hopefully soon, Venom's going to make a big appearance in Spider-Man's universe.
Yeah, you should see people doing concept arts of Tom Holland getting, you know,
The black suit.
the black suit,
like,
and
it looks
Andrew Garfield
incredible.
getting the black suit as well.
And that leads us to the end of the film. Basically, we have a lot of theories and a lot of speculations, but
Wait. Do you guys know, like, the Ultimate Spider-Man TV show?
yeah, where
It could be something along the lines of that, where he goes to college, a professor finds that, starts doing experiments with it, all that kind of stuff.
Oh.
well, that could be because I remember.
Well, that actually happened in Tobey Maguire's film, too.
Because
Yeah.
I believe Ultimate Spider-Man doesn't have, like, an Oscorp.
No, it does.
No,
The-
Spider-Man doesn't have an Oscorp.
The
Like
ultimate.
the animated TV show?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah, they have an Oscorp.
because
Okay.
the only thing that they didn't do with Venom is introduce Eddie Brock. Because Venom went from Harry Osborn to Flash Thompson.
Okay.
That's how Venom was formed. But especially the fact that we don't know where the symbiote, the little drop, is going to be going. I speculate it's either going to find the Eddie Brock of that universe or go to Flash Thompson. That's my little speculation. But anyway, guys, let's talk about some theories that we have. Let's look at something that we saw throughout the film. Certain pieces of the villains were left behind. Green Goblin's glider was left behind. One of Ock's tentacles was left behind.
Yeah.
Blizzard's cure vial was left behind. Sandman's was, and even a piece of Venom symbiote.
And by left behind, we mean, you know, the remnants of the battle at the Statue of Liberty, where it happened in Tom's universe.
Plus the Goblin mask being left behind.
Exactly.
as well.
I forgot about
behind the dumpster as well.
And then, what's another thing that we see? This was one thing I speculated. When Toby got stabbed, I have a theory that someone is going to find his blood on the shield. Because it's pretty obvious that he must have bled something on that shield. But I have a feeling someone's going to find his blood and use it to either make a villain or...
Make a clone.
Exactly. Give us a Ben Reilly.
A Ben Reilly or some form of different Scarlet Spider. I can't remember his name. Was it?
I can't remember his name either. I only know
I
Ben
keep on
Reilly.
thinking it's Citizen Kane, but it's not. I know it's not.
Yeah. Anyway, De Bono.
Okay, this one's a bit of a stretch, but Ned Becoming Evil.
So the reason why people have been speculating that Ned is going to become a villain, it's because in the comics, the Hobgoblin was someone named Ned. And apparently that's who became the Hobgoblin. And it's something that we can potentially see. And I remember there was a joke said in the film when so Ned asked Toby's Peter, does he have a best friend? And he said he did. He died in my arms after he tried to kill me. Of course, taken a little out of context, but then Ned goes to Peter and says, I promise, I won't become a supervillain and kill you. And then it's funny because then Andrew just, yeah, you better not.
Which, to me, that kind of felt like foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Especially with the fact that wasn't Ned kind of bullied in high school as well? And he technically only had Peter.
And then got MJ, but then it's just like, well,
Yeah.
he did manage.
MJ,
because it wasn't Mary Jane Watson. It was
no.
Michelle
What I
Jones
mean
Watson.
by them being friends, it was more like a friendly interaction.
It was. They weren't really friends. They were, they were friends of Peter's.
Yeah, until
yeah.
they eventually became friends after they both knew
But
Peter.
after the outcome, it's more like they're good colleagues since they're going to the same college and everything.
Yeah.
But it's only because of that they're interacting with each other.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I feel that there's a good possibility that this Ned will become Hobgoblin, but I'm more doubtful than I am sure, just because of the simple fact that we did some research here and there to see what the Hobgoblin looked like, or Ned looked like, in the Spider-Man comics. He was a blonde white dude. He was whiter than anything. He wasn't pale. He
was like Captain America in the comics.
Sort of,
Captain
yes.
America in the comics. He was white. He was blonde, and apparently he was very abusive to his wife.
Which was actually surprisingly Betty Brant. The, of course, Betty Brant of...
Daily Bugle.
Exactly. And especially the fact that Betty Brant was actually made a lot younger in the MCU because she actually ended up dating... Oh, crap!
What?
Dated Ned in Far From Home.
Oh, dear God.
Oh, my God!
Blown.
Oh, my God.
He dated Betty Brant. What?
I apparently found this out that girl that he dated in Far From Home was Betty Brant. Oh my God! They already foreshadowed it.
Was Ned abusive?
No, apparently they were a good couple because literally they had so much fun. They acted like a married couple already. Just like, come in, sweetie.
Oh my God.
That's more foreshadowing without us even doing any that was us doing foreshadowing.
Like, I didn't know anything about the comic version until, it was just all stuff I saw leading up because I was like, okay, changed outcomes, the fact that Ned was bullied, didn't have any friends.
But Betty Brant, oh my God, what?
I feel like an idiot.
Okay, but the reason why I'm still doubtful is that oh my God, the reason why I get it. The reason why I'm still doubtful though that this Ned will become Hobgoblin is that first of all, they would really need to put in major amounts of work to have Ned's actor right now turn into
a hunk like Tom Holland.
Somewhat.
Well, you know what I mean, like muscles at least.
Yeah, no, like actually work out and get, get that surgery to be able to remove all of the fat off it, get rid of all the excess skin. Or they could just replace him with another actor.
Which I don't think they'll do.
They might. For the simplicity of everything, they just might.
Or what they could do, use the same facial structure and CGI it onto someone who actually has the kind of muscle for it. Maybe.
A little bit of a stretch, but maybe.
That is
But I'm
hard.
still doubtful because the Ned that we've seen in the comics is white and has blonde hair.
Exactly.
So it could be just a different universe Hobgoblin. And there's a chance
that it could come to fruition.
That Ned cannot be Hobgoblin.
Which is what I think, because I don't think that they've been building Ned up to become a supervillain.
They really haven't been. But with the foreshadowing from Andrew...
That's hard to say.
Not to mention the Betty Brant relationship that we now found out about.
Because of me?
Yeah.
I guess now, Josh, what are some theories you have?
For No Way Home.
Basically, the future, basically of Spider-Man and what we saw from No Way Home.
No Way Home. Well, the future. I don't know. I don't particularly know.
You're just hopeful.
I think
Yeah.
we also kind of forgot our theories because, guys, after we saw this film, one thing that was funny is we all clapped for the film, but then we stayed outside for about an hour talking about theories.
Yes.
Yeah, we were fleshing out our brains, just theories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that, I guess, to build off of technology that was left behind, is that what if somebody got a hold of Doc Ock's arm? What if somebody got a hold of Peter's blood?
Goblin's
Tony's
glider.
blood.
Goblin's glider.
glider. And
Goblin's mask.
there could be an Oscorp that springs from Osborn's stuff, because what was his glider and his mask made from?
Exactly.
The company Oscorp. And somebody might look at that and say, there's no Oscorp here.
Because what I think personally is what I thought originally was going to happen with these villains is I thought they were designing them differently to eventually stay in the MCU. But what I feel like now is they were given the tools finally to eventually rise up and become alive in these universes, especially with 3 more films coming out. Who knows who we'll see next? We already got confirmed of Kraven the Hunter is coming, which I'm very surprised Quicksilver from Age of Ultron's actor is going to be playing him.
However, I also feel like Black Cat or whatever her name is also
Felicia Hardy.
Felicia Hardy.
Alright, since Kranen is like the person who just hunts down animalistic based.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing is, like, I'm excited for when that does happen, but my question is, well, it's not really a question, like, it's my question of, I'm curious what actress can play Black Cat. There are so many different people that could play her.
I don't know.
There was one actress that was said that I'm kind of curious to see. Have you guys ever heard of Alexander Daddario? Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief.
Actually,
Kind of
I
thing.
now have to look this up. I don't know if that's her actual name, and I don't want to
Yeah.
be wrong about it.
Yeah, her name's Alexander Daddario. If you...
Oh, God. Oh, God.
What?
Amy Schumer in a latex suit.
Huh?
Oh. If you don't know who she is, she's a comedian that mainly focuses
Yeah, Black
on...
Cat is her name. Okay. Yeah, just had to make sure.
Yeah, here, let me show you who I was talking about.
But you know what I'm talking about, right? Amy Schumer with, bad comedy, kind of leads towards feminism.
Oh, bad feminism.
That's her.
Oh!
You remember her now?
Yeah.
Someone said that she would probably make a good Black Cat.
Yeah, because of the blue eyes, I think.
I can see
and
that,
also, weirdly enough, she kind of does have the body shape of Black Cat.
Now, hold on. Are we talking about the body or the body?
The body.
The body?
Yeah,
The body.
both.
The...
Here, are you looking through her, Devona?
Oh no, I'm looking more at how she can relate to Black Cat.
Yeah, no, I mean, the hair could probably work.
Here,
Yeah.
I don't know.
let me see if I could find her again. Let's see if someone's already done some artwork of...
Probably not.
Because she's one actress that they're rumoring could potentially play her, and the thing is, I could see it. Huh.
That hasn't been as widespread, though. Oh, that's... I mean, probably. Like I said.
That's a weird one.
You know, it's not really...
I guess someone did a concept art of that.
Okay. Well, it's just that there are some iterations of Black Cat that have these quite big breasts.
Yeah, like Spider-Man Edge of Time, Web of Shadows.
But those are in the games, though. later on, it starts in the movies. It really just kind of summed down to if you're gonna have a cat, a girl that likes cats and wants to name herself after a cat, to be in latex, it usually was a very petite woman that didn't show a lot, even though Black Cat did.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that could
Well, I mean,
happen.
arguments could be made that Catwoman did as well, but you know.
Well, anyway, guys, that's all we got for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you could do me a favor, like and subscribe. I'm still trying to grow subscriber rates. And guys, I want to thank you so much just for an amazing year. This is a very special video as well because this is my 300th video. I never thought I'd be able to make it this far, and especially with how much time I've had. Guys, thank you so much just for joining me in my channel. I really love the team that I have built up. Guys,
the icon.
Thank you. Guys, of course, for those of you who kind of forgot, these are two of my closest friends. Josh has been my best friend since my sophomore year of high school. DeBono has been a good friend for a while. We sadly just got knowing each other as best friends. I regret that because I've just grown to know these guys very much. We got a lot of fun videos coming your way very soon. Just a lot of fun stuff planned, and we just thank you guys so much for a great year. You've given us so much love and support on our videos, and we just thank you so much. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I didn't spoil it for you guys. If you guys legitimately listened to my beginning part, please go watch this movie. It is worth the watch.
Oh yeah,
It is. There's only so much words can actually express versus
How
yeah. No, like, do you know how people say that a picture speaks 1,000 words? A movie speaks a trillion. To be honest.
yeah, it's just like guys, this film, one of the reasons why it did so good is because, well, just the amazing cast behind it and the amazing crew, and especially the fact that, well, now guys, this film has gotten, like, I think this film has reached the box office rating for best movie of the year. Like, seriously, this film was watched over 50. I don't know how to explain it. This film has been watched by so many people. Like, seriously, the rates are over $1 billion of how well this film did. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Just again, we hope to see you soon, and we got something planned, hopefully, for, of course, you guys know in 2 weeks I turn 20. I don't know what I'm going to do for that day, but I'm probably going to have them help me with something.
Maybe.
But don't worry, guys. These guys aren't going away for a long time. I know how much you love them. You love Web Warrior JP, or Web Warrior
JP.
And then you got
Mythical Spider.
Spider Avenger Miller, and our newest member who sadly couldn't join us, Gangsta Spider. Don't worry, guys. He'll be around eventually. But eventually what you should see coming up really soon is potential looks for the Web Warriors. We're getting a look for Web Warrior JP. Finally, a better look for me. And Mythical Spider's getting a new look. Or eventually what we would look like when we're on patrol. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great day. Spider Avenger Miller and the Web Warriors are signing out.